Today, I want to talk to you about Log and Snail. This is a way that I approach management, a way that we teach about management of the primary objectives of management on a daily basis. Log and Snail. Let's start out with the snail. What is the snail? Well, in our theory of management, what we call the system that's based upon the Y theory of management, the theory that made America great in the first place, we are very clear that management's responsibility every single day is to go out to where the work is being done, find the slowest step amongst that work and optimize it, improve it, make it better, faster, smarter, automate it, do whatever needs to be done to make that slowest step faster. Why do we do that? Well, if you think about a train track, you cannot go faster than the car that's in front of you. So it's critically important that the slowest points, we identify these slowest points every day and we go out and we optimize these because they set the speed for the entire process. If we can make the slowest step go 10% better, 10% faster, that means the throughput of the entire system increases by potentially 10%. This is why every day it's critically important to get out there and look for these things, find them and eradicate them. Keep making the bottlenecks bigger. Think about a bottle when you dump it upside down or an hourglass. If you make that hole bigger, you're going to get more throughput. So this is the first responsibility of management, finding the slowest point every single day and optimizing it. Thinking about it this way. If your business was an hourglass, how long would it take? How long does it take from the time a lead comes in until first invoice and last invoice? Do you know that number? It's a critically important number. Your cash turnover, how quickly you're turning over cash, that cash conversion cycle in your business is critically important, but yet you probably don't know that. Now, if you've done a system of the systems map with us, if you haven't, literally just write out your departments from the first one. Where do things come in? Marketing, sales, operations, service. Just write out the four in the middle. What's the flow of money through your business? And ask yourself the question, not how many, how much do we produce, but how long does it take it to produce? I regularly see companies that come to us that tell us they've got a cash flow problem. Profits are okay, revenue's okay, but something doesn't feel right. And when we look at this cycle, their cash conversion cycle, we find it's getting slower each year or each quarter or each month, meaning that they're turning cash less quickly. That's a real problem in the long run. That's going to really burn you out. It's going to really stress out that business if you cannot get that cash flowing through. So understanding what this is, then going out and identifying the things that are standing in that way, so the things that are making it take longer by looking for the snails. The next thing we're going to do, just imagine for a minute if you improve that by 10%. That's 10% more throughput in your business at the same labor cost, at the same overhead cost, 10% more volume capacity through the system. Yeah, it's very, very impactful. So that's what we call the snail. The log, on the other hand, is a little bit differently. When you're out looking for these slowest points all day long, as you're walking around, as you're looking for these things and helping identify where they are, you ask every single person along that journey this simple question: what is standing in your way? Walk past the janitor, I walk past the receptionist, every person that I talk to. Hey, what's standing in your way? What would allow you to do more volume or make it easier? Have you thought much about how we could improve this process? Are all of these steps necessary? Look, Six Sigma and Lean folks say regularly 30 to 60% of steps in a process don't add any value at all. It can be eliminated without any deterioration in value of the organization. 30 to 60% of the work being done does not add value. Find those things. Find the things that are standing in people's way. Many times that's a bottleneck. It's they don't have access to something. It's something very, very simple, but it's slowing them down. It's adding hours to their day. I've seen people 4 hours of their day in a very, very simple improvement that might cost $20 or $30 that management could put into place. We could save somebody 3-4 hours a day of work, which means they've got time to work on other projects. So asking everybody what is standing in your way. We used to do this years ago. This was a natural part of management. We called it management by wandering around. Everybody was in the same office. They all had an inbox and an outbox on their desk. And you know that I used to say that, I still do say, that the easiest way to identify what was happening in a company is go look at the inboxes and outboxes. Look at the stack of inbox and outbox on everybody's desk, and you will find very, very quickly the flow of the business. You can't do that anymore. You don't know what's happening. So you've got to be able to visualize this and really see it. And if you need to get out and do the work, like get out, walk amongst the work, you need to do that. If you can't do that, then your only choice is to process map. That's it. It's the only choice to apply this principle is to create a map of the process with the people doing the process and ask them the questions you would ask them if you were standing in front of their desk and you saw this massive inbound box and a very small outbound box. Hey, what's standing in your way? What resources do you need? Is it your computer that's the problem? Oh, wait, you need a license for Adobe? Okay, yeah, we can get you that. Whatever those things are, find those and move those out of the way of their people. The goal here is to get them to do more work more effectively in a more easier fashion. I don't think people are resistant to work. They're resistant to bullshit. They don't want busy work. They want things that are actually tangible and provide value and create pride and joy for them. They want to go home and sit on the couch and their kid climbs up on their lap and says, "Mommy, how was work today?" And you say, it was pretty freaking good. Like, I really accomplished a lot and I could see my value to this organization. That's what we want. So this is the interesting thing about that. We talk about actions result mapping. I also talk about actions result thinking. We need to be thinking that actions create results and results have consequences. We learn from consequences and then we optimize the actions and the results based upon those. Those consequences might be good, they might be bad. So when it comes to a process map, I'll show you this real quick, action result. This is the way we map our maps. Work is represented with lines and the end result is represented with a circle. So each circle on the map is a result that has been dictated by management that they require along the pathway. It is management's responsibility to determine the results that are needed from the process. It is the employee's responsibility to take the actions to get that result. If their actions do not provide that result, it is not because their actions are bad. It's because you have not optimized either the result, maybe that result is unattainable, or it could be that the action itself needs some assistance. It's impossible to get there in an efficient path. It's impossible to find a straight line between those 2 points because there's all sorts of things standing in the way. So identifying the results, that's management's responsibility to determine what the results are. I'm going to skip around a little bit here. We determine the results. They perform the actions, but we're responsible for the optimization of those actions. They don't have I had somebody just recently where we could save about 3 to 4 hours of her day if we spent $19 a month on a piece of software. And she was like in tears, like, wow, this will be incredible. It's going to free up all my time, but I don't have the authority to do that. I can't spend $19 without approvals and POs and come on, like just walk up that's why you as a manager, you can do that. You can throw it on your company card and get it done. They can't do that. So you're the only one that can optimize the action. They can perform the actions, but you're the only one that can optimize those actions. Now, going back, actions should be determined not by the authority, my seniority, not by rank, but by geography. The people doing the actions know best about how the actions need to be performed. And if we give them the right tools to teach them critical thinking so that they can think about how to improve that process, they also can be the ones that tell us what resources are needed to accomplish those goals and to get to those results more quickly. Pretty simple. We call this the 50-foot rule. What we like to say is I don't trust people's opinions. I don't trust people's maps if they don't work within 50 feet of where that's happening. We make assumptions from our ivory tower. How many floors above reality are your policies and procedures? How many floors above reality are your decision-making processes? Maybe 2 or 3 floors above where the work actually gets done. I recently had a CEO said to me, well, we have great SOPs and good understanding of our process because all of our department heads are required to sit down on a regular basis with our mapping team, our process team, and identify how things work. So I asked him who reports to that head. Well, that's the directors. 2 or 3 directors report to that. And who reports to that? 5 or 6 managers. And and is there anybody below that? Yeah, there's leads and supervisors in there. And then below that is the employees. So that person's interaction, that department head's interaction is usually with the people within 1 or 2 levels of them, meaning that they never get even remotely close to where the actual work gets done. So their perception, their understanding is based upon the results they want, but it's not based upon the reality of what occurs inside that action. So we have to help them optimize that. We've got to get our asses out of our seats and go down to the front. We call it management by wandering around. As I just said, people only respect what you inspect. When you start walking around and asking people, hey, what can I do to improve things? They start thinking about what can be done to improve things. That's pretty good. Instead of just hiring them from the neck down, now we've got a full body person there with their head and everything, all working it out. So our responsibility is to determine the results. Their responsibility is to take action. Our responsibility is to optimize the actions they're taking. because most process is efficient, but it's not, I'm sorry, most process is sufficient, but it's not efficient. And it certainly isn't resilient. Sufficient can happen from the people doing the work. Efficient and resilient only happens through the optimization of the actions by management. That's just how it works. It's simple, basic block and tackle math. You cannot improve this. The best way to improve this is to improve this, to improve the inputs to that. So I hope that makes a lot of sense. This is the video for today.